Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Bartholomew, and this is I Want to Hold Your Band. Today's guest is actor David Magidoff. You know him from many a thing. Dexter, New Blood, The Morning Show, American Crime Story. There are so many things. Go watch him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell. Was that our first fight? That feels better, right? I love you. We talk about many a thing. Mostly we talk about, and this was really fun because I did this last week with NSYNC and Jeannie, my guest. But we talk about David's love, his obsession for so many years since high school, since he was 12, which is Oasis. I almost said the Oasis. And it's so fascinating to hear how he came to them, what he loves about them. We also talk about Billy Joel and Blur and a whole bunch of other things. Mr. Rogers. As always, remember that the links to the songs we talk about are in the episode description, so click them and you can vibe along with us, and it's really fun to do. So just do it. I'm yelling at you again. It's our second fight. This one's going to take a while. Anyway, without further ado, I give you the loving David Magidoff. Remember coming in your life when you were younger?
Oh, wow.
What a face.
Well, this is probably not the answer, I'm sure, because I think I don't remember a ton because my childhood, I think, was filled with a lot more fighting and angry father. Not like the deepest abuse, but like dad was in a safe space. So my memories are cloudy in childhood, I think, to protect me.
I get that.
Yeah, so let's start with that. But a memory that I have would be Sting. Seeing a concert. He was my first concert other than Sesame Street. If you want to talk about actual music, Sesame Street was first music and Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
So proper music, I don't really remember necessarily an album or this, but I remember being at Indian Head Camp in the Poconos.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
In Jersey, but I went to the all-Jewish sleepaway camp. It's called IHC now, I believe, because Indian Head is... No gratte. And we all went to see Sting as like a first concert. And I was maybe like 12 or something.
The whole camp they took you to?
Yeah. They took like whatever age group would go to a thing. So like we all went to like Scranton, wherever, it's the Scranton or stadium or arena or whatever it was. And that was also the first time I ever smelled marijuana. I remember being like, what's that? So Sting is singing Roxanne and marijuana. I'm like, this is like adult music. That was my memory. I'm sure I had other memories previous, but all a cloud. Now that I have a toddler, I'm just playing Mr. Rogers all the time. Really? Whether she cares about it or not, it makes me happy. So I'm going back to all the Mr. Rogers songs, and they're great. You have a good feeling to know you're alive. It's just a happy feeling to see it inside. It's just, Mr. Rogers is such a safe space. I think I really... sure I connected with him as like, this is an adult male figure that is a safe space, that is a good person, that made me happy. Yeah, so that's where music. And also, like thinking about it out loud, during the COVID, I did a thing called Sadder David, where I was like, hey kids. So I'm sure Mr. Rogers, because I did it on Instagram Live, I did, hey kids. And I was like doing it, I was like telling all my friends with kids, I didn't have kids at the time. And so I was just like, hey, and I was like I had a puppet, and I had like with my celebrity guest, and I had like Abigail Spencer and Karan Soni on, and like they would do silly things with me and Tiffany Thiessen, and like we would draw things. And I didn't even know any of these people. We all just like, I just was like hitting them up because I know we're all just sitting at home doing nothing. So it was very weird.
And you remember in your house, your parents having a record player?
There was the record player and the CD, 6 CD changer. But I would love to do the records. I think because it's the process of opening the thing and taking the thing out the sleeve.
Totally.
But they had Beatles, Elton John, Billy Joel.
Oh, they had a good collection.
Yeah.
I mean, those three right there, just saying to have those in your...
Yeah, solid stuff.
That's solid.
My dad had a lot of good stuff, and he was good with music. Bruce Springsteen was like his thing, although he didn't have a lot of Bruce Springsteen LPs, weirdly. But
do you remember stuff being played in your house that you would listen that when they would put it on?
They never played it.
Oh.
I never heard music.
Really?
I'd be the one to just play the music around every now and then. He never, again, if he did play music, I barely have any memory of it. It's a fuck. But she never played music. She's not against music. She wasn't footloose. She just didn't.
Any siblings at all?
Only child.
Only child. Did you have in your room any sort of radio, CD player, anything where you would...
Oh, growing up, I had my, like, what was the thing we all had in, like,
Boombox?
the 90s? Yeah, it was like a boombox. It was like the 6 CD changer and the 2 tapes, and you could record from each other, and, like, the top 6 CDs,
Yeah.
and then the 2 speakers that you could put wherever. Yeah, I had that. My uncle was a gadget guy. I have a very young, he was like 18.
Your mom's brother?
My mom's younger brother.
Okay.
He actually had when we'd go visit mom's old house and he was at home from college, he had like a real stereo speaker system. Of course, I couldn't like touch it.
Right.
But they also had in
that.
the house, I remember plinking around with an old 8-track tape. And I thought that was really fun. And I think it's gone forever. But if I could unearth that would be... Have you ever played with an 8-track?
Oh, yeah. We had 8-tracks growing up. We had one, this kind of round spaceship-looking thing that sat on a table. And you would put it in, and it would go in. And then there'd be 4 buttons, even though there weren't 4 tracks and 8-track. But when you'd press it, it would go... It would go to each song as you did it, so you felt physically that you
were making music.
Oh, it literally, it's like the record you said when you physically feel it. Mm-hmm. So your uncle, was he in Jersey? Was your mom's house in Jersey? Did she grow up?
She grew up in Lawrence, New York. I remember doing a commercial with Jerry Seinfeld. He directed it, and I said to him, "I grew up in it's called the 5 towns. So there's like a few these 5 towns were in this little area, kind of not far from JFK, in Queens area." And he's like, "Of course you did," which I appreciate. Which that's all I needed him to say, because it was a little and I didn't really grow up. I grew up there in that my mom would like drive once a month to her mom's house, and so I spent so much time there, with
Really?
Yeah, he's from Massapequa, so it's just like different pockets of Long Island. But it was a little, I don't say it's frou-frou, but there was some money there, I think. Maybe not necessarily Lawrence per se,
which is why he said that.
Yeah. He's like, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, you chose me. Yeah, you cast me.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your favorite. So for the listener, David put on the questionnaire at least 100 songs, Oasis songs. So let's talk about one of your favorite artists, Oasis.
Yes.
And you have like 7 different songs you put and 3 different albums that you love. So first of all, how did you come to Oasis?
They came into my life similarly at summer camp, because at sleepaway camps in the New York, Pennsylvania area, and my sleepaway camp was across the street from where they filmed Wet Hot American Summer. So like that whole camp vibe was totally my vibe. But the counselors, instead of it being Paul Rudd and Michael Showalter, were British people and Scottish people and Irish people who were all like 20 to 22 years old or whatever. There was a thing called BUNAC, which I forget what BUNAC stood for. I should have looked it up, but it started with B was British. I think British United States. Anyway, it was basically a
Exchange.
It was almost like a foreign exchange program where you could be from, I think, any country around the world or Britain or wherever it was, and you could come to America on like almost like a permit if you worked in a summer camp or worked in some sort of summer camp like aspect business. And so a lot of summer camps would get these people who, like, you know, your soccer teacher was this like Scottish guy who was like great at soccer, but like just regular counselors were, you know, American kids, I'm 20, early 20s kids, late teens or whatever, and also people from Britain. So here I am, and it's like 1995, 1996, and they were all listening to the Oasis and Blur and other British bands. Now, yes, Nirvana and Live and Smashing Pumpkins and other shit was happening in the same camp bunks as well that we were listening to, but there's a lot of Oasis going on, and for whatever reason, I really took to that. And it's not the sort of thing, if I'm like, hey, was there one counselor? There were a couple of counselors that I really took to that I really appreciated and, looked as friends and father figures and things. But I guess their music I really loved Oasis from that. Something that stuck hardcore. Like, I still Google the word Liam Gallagher or Noel Gallagher on an almost daily basis out of just sheer curiosity of what they're doing, which takes 2 seconds, but let's talk about, that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a psychosomatic, I don't know, something going on there.
What is that?
They're quotes. these guys they say whatever they want to say, and I think maybe I kind of, it's cathartic vicariously, through them, because they'll do and say whatever they want, and that rock stars are gods kind of thing. Like Liam Gallagher's really owns that, and it's just fun. I don't worship them, but I appreciate them, and I weirdly love them separately doing their music. So even them coming back together, so they're going to do a tour around the world and in America. I'm seeing them in September.
What do you think it was about? Well, so you already kind of spoke to that. There wasn't anybody specifically. There were some people, guys that were maybe kind of father figure-y, but whatever. You think initially when you heard it, that it was attached to the mystique of British, like you're a young teen, and what were you, like 13, 14? Yeah. Or do you think you instantly heard it and you're like, oh shit, I really like this.
Well, they're good songs. It was the most popular album of the 90s. But if you want to go like the psychological road, which I have thought about it, my guess is they were a family that fought but stayed together. And I think they loved each other, ultimately, these two brothers. And even though I didn't have brothers, I think I had a kind of, arguing kind of family dynamic growing up. I think I kind of related to, but they stayed together. In the same way that I grew up, I still collect comic books to this day. And that's where I learned about comics when I was at camp. And those are the two ongoing life hobbies is Oasis and comic books. And my favorite superhero comic is the Fantastic Four. A family that stayed together and fought, and they leave and they come back, and sometimes someone went off, but they always stuck it out together. And I think I really appreciate the community family dynamic, because I kind of still long for that. And so I try to create that with my family and my friends, and even the show that I do, my live show. So I think there's a real pull from these two brothers. And then when they eventually split, it was very sad, but also, Is
that weird when you found out that they split?
I think it was, we all kept waiting for them to split. On some level, it's like I can take myself out of my body and see the psychological thing. And then another level, I'm also just a fan of their actual music. Yeah. So they actually started doing much better music separately.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh. The last Oasis albums weren't like the best Oasis albums. So their solo stuff was really fun. And I think they're going to totally continue it. I don't think they're about to come back together as a band and make new music. I think this is just a fun reunion tour thing to make an enormous amount of money.
Cash grab a little bit.
Oh, my gosh. They're going to make a ton of money. And I think they're each making like $100 million each or something.
Oh, my God. I'm curious. I'd be interested, because you're a lovely man. You could have a dark, dark heart. I don't know. But you seem a lovely man. What is it about the appreciation for rock stars behaving badly and being like, it's okay. I mean, because I have we were traveling last summer, I think it was, my wife and I, and we got on a plane, and who's the brother of Ben Affleck? Casey Affleck. And he was getting onto a plane. It was an international flight. Yeah. He was a fucking prick.
I've heard terrible. We've all heard terrible
such
stories.
A prick.
Yeah.
I have seen people through the years, and as an actor working with somebody, and most of the time that's not the case, but there are occasional prick, and you're just like,
they have to be a real prick, because I don't think of you as the guy who would call someone a prick, so they've really got to be a prick.
Yeah, because he pushed in front, and
Paul was saying you're a prick. You're a prick.
There's a bit of truth to that. I mean, he was just like the woman taking the ticket, and she's like, he was clearly drunk or high or something, and he was being such an asshole to her, which I do not like. So my question is, what is it that you're like, I'm okay with that? I think part of it is you said that, like, they're bad boys. They say whatever the fuck they want. Yeah. And I'm not that person necessarily. And
yeah, I wouldn't say that's my favorite part of who they are, but I will say it's the sort of thing where I don't want them to be my president or my governor or my mayor or anyone in an elected office. But if they want to sit at home and tweet the funniest tweets that I'll ever read, which is Liam Gallagher, or they piss off people in public, and I think that's exactly what they're saying. They'll say that we're taking the piss out of people. Like they'll never say they really, really, really meant it. Like even Noel probably means it more than Liam, but it's remarkable how they're very funny, and I don't mind it.
You don't take it serious.
You just can't. You just can't. If you know the context of these guys, I think in the context of rock stardom, you kind kind of want your rock stars to act like rock stars.
So give me a deep cut that we could listen to briefly. That would be a fun one that I'd like to hear, it not being a huge...
Here's a lightly deep cut. There's
Okay.
like real deep cut. Let's listen to Half the World Away. So Half the World Away is a song that I can sing along to forever. I will watch clips at Glastonbury of people singing along to it, and it makes me so happy. And I can't wait to sing along to it with everyone at the Rose Bowl in September when they come.
Okay, so we're going to listen to Half the World Away from Oasis's album, Definitely Maybe, from 1994. Here we go. Great song.
Right?
Great song.
And everyone's singing, all these British people, so I can't wait to sing along to it.
Half the world away.
It's just about getting out of town. Just getting out of town. You're just about a young guy in Manchester who's just like, I don't want to be here. I want to be there.
Okay, so let's go on to one of your favorite artists. And it's interesting because you said it was one of the 3 albums you mentioned with your parents, but Billy Joel, The Stranger. So there's so many Billy, and I'm a huge Billy Joel fan, so there's so many albums. Why that one specifically?
If you just go through that whole album, that's the best of.
It's incredible.
And it's only like 8 songs or something.
Is it
I
only
think
8
it's
songs?
really, it's like 8 or 9 songs. And I just grew up with Billy Joel. And I think it's one of those, somehow he's like the most prolific artist of like all time for like #1 singles. And he's still underrated. I think he's a funny Michael Scott joke in The Office where like he loves Billy Joel. But like Billy Joel is a rock star. He's a nerd rock star who wrote hit after hit after hit. And I grew up in Jersey, and that's totally influenced by hearing Billy Joel on the radio all the time. Not just being of that age, but also just being in the tri-state area. I think like he's from Long Island, I'm from Long Island. Let's just look at that album for just a second. 1977, we have Moving Out, then The Stranger, Just the Way You Are, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, Vienna, Only the Good Die Young, She's Always a Woman. Those are the first 7 songs.
It's incredible.
Those are maybe some of the best 7 songs that have ever been made in our lifetime. In our forget, you can take Beethoven out of it and Elvis, but and I love Scenes from an Italian Restaurant because I'm a big fan of the mashup song.
Yeah.
The song that changes significantly throughout.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, Bohemian, and then but I think you can attribute that to essentially the end of Abbey Road with Golden Slumbers and Carry That Weight, because that all sort of was that. And then Band on the Run did that. Uncle Albert, those songs shifted and changed in the same song. And I feel like Scenes from an Italian Restaurant is like 6 songs in one song, right? Only the Good Die Young is maybe my favorite, just fun song. And it's, yeah. And then She's Always a Woman. Then Get It Right the First Time, which no one talks about. It's actually a really nice song. But that's like on Definitely Maybe, that's Digsy's Dinner for anyone who knows those deep cuts. And Everybody Has a Dream also, I don't think really people know too much. But again, it's 9 songs. It's in total the amount of minutes, 42 minutes. But those first 7 songs, I don't know if anyone's had 7 songs in a row like that. I don't care who you are. To have 7 songs like that in a row, usually an amazing album, like a top ever album, is like you have 5 hits on that album. Like The Killers, Hot Fuss is an incredible 5-hit album. Morning Glory, Definitely Maybe. I'm sure one of the Taylor songs, whatever. Just I don't care who you are, I don't care what album it is. I don't care. Kendrick Lamar, whatever you want. But to have 7 in a row, their first 7 in a row, that's a best. That's a best of. You remember those? Remember what was the Millennial series? You would get Semisonic. You get they would try to send you. They would try to package in the 90s the best of. It'd be 90s bands that had 2 hits, but they'd be here's the best of, and they'd throw the 2 hits on, the Verve Pipe, they'd have these bands on, Semis on a Closing Time. It's did they have a couple other hits beyond that? I don't think they did, but they would be that would be the best of. And I remember being but that's Billy Joel. You have, and those 7 songs could disappear forever, and he would still be one of the greatest artists.
There's so many albums that have that though. You go through and you're amazing.
It's such a joy to know, like Fleetwood Mac. There's just bands out there who just popped them out one after another. What brilliance! What just a touch by God,
Let's talk about, because I don't know them, and you mentioned them earlier. And when I try not to listen to anything that I don't know except for briefly, which I did, and it's Blur. which is a 90s British like, and they
That's
feel
the thing. So
little harder.
So with Oasis, when Oasis came in, then a lot of other British bands came in. So I'm a big Britpop person. I've seen all the Britpop documentaries. I've seen Supersonic and Live Forever, and I adore it.
So Blur, so they were at this about the same time. Did you?
Yeah,
were those counselors?
I wasn't a huge Blur fan. I've enjoyed them more and more over the years over time, though, and I actually really like their new album. They got to get back together, and Damon Albarn's a genius. You know, but
I don't know any Blur.
He's the guy who does Gorillaz.
Oh yeah,
That's the lead singer and main writer of Blur.
oh.
Damon Albarn.
Give me a gateway drug to Blur that's like, if you don't like that song, you probably won't like them.
Yeah, we all know. Woohoo! We all know that. I would.
You say we. There are blind spots. I have big blind.
You know woohoo. Woo! Every stadium anthem, everything you've ever. Woohoo! And I'm feeling heavy metal. Woohoo! You got to play it.
Never heard that song.
You absolutely have heard song 2.
It's so.
You will play it and you will have heard it.
There's a shameful gratitude that I have that once an episode, somebody goes, the look on the person's face. Okay, so what's it called?
No, I feel it is.
You're confident? You feel confident?
I feel my wife never knew who Phil Collins was until we got married, and that made sense a little bit. This doesn't make sense.
Okay, this is exciting. Never heard that.
It's impressive, almost. There's an old Eddie Izzard joke where he's like, you know, you kill someone, you go to jail. You kill 2 people, you're like, okay, you got to go to an insane asylum, whatever. You kill like 100 people, you're like, well done. Well done. You must have gotten up very early in the morning. Death, lunch, death, afternoon tea, death. So there's like, to not know this song is almost like borderline, like you had to like not be in someone's 10 friends' cars, these many playlists, these many football games, baseball games. I mean, this song is to me the 90s equivalent of We Are the Champions or We Will Rock You at a football game or a baseball game or a hockey
I'm a
game.
40-year-old virgin.
You're a 40-year-old virgin for song 2. Well,
Wow.
now you know it. Now you know it. I'm shocked that song didn't. I think I'm not going to be the only one. I am shocked that song never on your time on Earth has ever come upon.
You know what it is looking at it? 1997. So I graduated from college in 1994 and I moved to New York City right after I graduated. From 94 to when we moved here in 2000, early 2000. When I was in New York, I was out of college. Like I wasn't listening to radio in New York City. I wasn't in a car. So I don't know how Oasis because I got that CD, but maybe that's why. So let's talk about one of your favorite artists, Take That, which I jotted my little note, British, as we say. So how did you come to them? They're kind of a boy band, is that right?
They were a boy band. They were like the first before New Kids. It was Robbie Williams, Gary Barlow, and 3 other guys. Jason Orange, I think.
Jason Orange?
I think his last name was Orange. But Robbie Williams, I've actually only become a fan of them only in the last like 6 years, which is super, super weird. Because I've been a huge Robbie Williams fan forever. I didn't really know that he was a part of the band Take That. Anyway, the really fun, there's a lot of fun things about Take That. One, there's only 3 left. Although Robbie Williams came back for like a fun reunion tour.
3 left surviving?
Of the 5. No, just like together still.
Oh.
One's like, I'm done. Like, I'm good. I don't need to keep singing these songs.
Okay.
Robbie Williams is like, I'm Robbie Williams, who's huge in Europe and nothing in America. And the 3 of them are also, they're enormous in England and around Europe too. Like the 3, Take That, it will sell out stadiums to this day.
Really?
Totally. It is an amazing reminder that there is a big world out there, my friend.
Yeah,
and America is, we think we're everything.
Yeah.
There are people touring the world and doing great
100%.
at their creative pursuits that
Yeah.
we don't know anything about because there's places like Germany and Japan and Korea and Brazil who just will love them and buy things, and God bless them. God bless the world. So Take That is still huge, and I'm watching Anora now, best picture of the year. Anyway, finally saw Anora too, and great movie, so fun. Take a Xanax. And that scene, did you see it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, you know the scene when they're just like living their best life early in the movie, and there's that song. This is the greatest day of our lives. Whatever. It's this really fun, cheery, kind of poppy, very kind of squeaky clean kind of song, and they're like fucking and doing all their things that they're doing and taking all their drugs. That's a Take That song. That's like an older Take. That's like a 2009 Take That song. Like this isn't like there's Take That albums from like 1990, 1991. This is a 2008. These men have children by now, and it's called The Greatest Day, and it's just about having the greatest day. It's just, pop. It's just pop sugar. And I was listening to it, and I'm like laughing with my wife, and I'm like, this is a I'm like, what? This is the last song you'd expect in this movie with these two kids fucking around and doing all the most deviant kind of things, you know? And then here's the squeaky clean take that. I'm like, did they know that this? I was literally like, did anyone tell them that this song is in it? And it's fun watching British interviews, because I have, where the British hosts are talking to like Mikey Madison or whatever. Like, did you know? Like, there is equally agape that song came on as well, because it's like having Mr. Rogers come on during like,
Oh, were they that?
Saving Private Ryan. Like, if you saw them now, like they look like youth pastors, these three guys. I wouldn't say they're the squeakiest clean the world, but like they don't cuss in their albums. They're on the cleaner side of things.
Okay.
I wouldn't say they're squeaky, but it's just like I said, it's a little bit like watching Mr. Rogers all of a sudden be in this like really like deviant kind of movie. And it was oddly an amazing juxtaposition. It was a great choice. And I saw Sean Baker being interviewed too about it. And he's like, I was literally I had my wife Google, like, I was like, this needs to be like a fun song. She's like, here's a song called The Greatest Day. Like, well, it's the greatest day they're having. Let's listen to it. They're like, this is great. And so they approved on it. Take that. And they literally sung it at the BAFTAs.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, okay, I'm glad they embraced it. It's amazing. And it's just, I appreciate pop songs, because if it was that easy to do, we would all do it.
Right.
So when people denounce Taylor Swift or anyone, it's like, do you know how hard it is to write a pop song? A popular pop song? Tip your hat to everyone who has ever made a fun, simple pop song.
David.
Thanks for having me, Paul, and talking about my favorite things.
Oasis, that was huge. And the moment that will live forever for me, Blur, that was great.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Woohoo. I say to you, woohoo.
Woohoo back. Thanks, man.
Yeah.